Good. So we're dealing with World Cup basics, World Cup 101. You want to watch World Cup with your friends, your spouse, be it your husband, your wife. You don't know much about it. You don't know what's happening. You don't know why the whole world goes crazy and pauses for a whole month over this tournament. And we want to help you understand how does World Cup run, what is the World Cup all about. And again, we have our lovely guest, Shiro, to help us figure out some basic questions that people have about the World Cup. But the modalities of the questions are going to be different this time. She's going to ask a question, and the three of us, first person to put up their hand gets the chance to answer. But if you put up your hand and get it wrong, minus point. But if you get it right, the point is yours. Over to you, Shiro.
Thank you. First question. How many teams play in the World Cup and how do they come up with them? T was the first one.
Wait, the question was anyway.
Yeah, but you need to
You hadn't
wait for
finished.
the person to-
No, but
Anyway.
he got the question.
What's your 32?
And how do they come up with
Do they
it?
come up with them?
Each continent has a set number of countries they must produce. And so when you count those number of countries being produced from each continent is represented in the World Cup. But there's a different quota of countries, with Europe having the largest quota. And so every continent has that number which they produce. The total amounts to 32.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, just to add, the tournament that's about to start, they call it the World Cup Finals.
Okay.
Because some people also say that the World Cup started before. And those games that are played before, called the qualifiers, are what lead up now to us getting the teams that are currently in the World Cup.
Just, what's a quota? Does anyone know? Which continent produces how many?
Africa produces 5.
Africa has 5. Europe has 13. The host country 1, automatic 1. Then
South America.
The rest are they have 0.5s. So, for example, South America has 4.5, and then
Because there's a
Asia-
playoff for
Asia
the
has 3.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the fifth team in
the
Europe
point
and
fifth, the
fourth-
point
yeah,
fifth.
meet, and then now the 0.50 is
Okay.
added there. Yeah.
Okay.
Then now, so that's Asia, South America, then Oceania, which is now where New Zealand and
And
Australia
then there's
are.
also North America
0.5,
somewhere.
yeah. North America has 3.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Next question. You have to wait for me to finish the question.
Okay.
Before you raise up
But it's
your
still
hand.
1-0.
No problem. Why hasn't Kenya ever gone to the World Cup? Man, this is hard, Mike. Who was the first one?
No, you just choose, no problem. No hard feelings.
I swear, I will.
Ayo was first.
Ayo.
Let me be honest. Ayo was first.
No hard feelings. Hey.
Okay. So Kenya has not made it to the World Cup because they have not qualified. They've had the opportunity to qualify, but they haven't. So that means they participated in the tournament
Qualifiers.
at the
Yeah.
preliminary level,
Yeah.
but did not make it, did not win enough games
Yeah.
to get them a slot in the World Cup.
Be among the 5 African countries that's going to the World Cup.
Yes.
Okay. Third question. How do they determine the country that will host the World Cup?
Mike was first.
Mike was first. He was just a bit slow.
There's a bidding process. So like now they are currently trying to see who will host the 2026 World Cup. So teams come in, every team gives a presentation to FIFA. FIFA does inspections at those countries, looks at facilities, looks at the capability of
It's
that
like a
country.
tender.
Yeah, it's actually like a tender.
Under process. Yeah, but for this
So-
one, yeah, continue.
Yeah, so at the end, now FIFA goes together, they have a meeting where people
vote.
vote on which country they think has the best presentation and based on now the capacity to host the World Cup.
For example, for 2026, I saw Morocco has started advertising in Russia, so that at least it's almost like they are campaigning to
To host.
yeah, to host.
2026, it's between US and Morocco. Those are
Okay.
the two main.
Who's taking the other? So we're in 2018.
2018, yeah.
Who's taking 2022?
2022 will go to Qatar.
Qatar.
Yeah. 2030, they're not yet sure, but they're thinking, because it will be the 100-year anniversary of the World Cup, they're thinking of taking it back to Uruguay, which was the first one. And Uruguay is considering hosting it alongside Argentina. Yeah, but they haven't yet decided. But because it will be the 100th anniversary, they're thinking of making it a special World Cup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. How do you have players, for instance, playing in Arsenal and still playing in the World Cup? Ayo.
Yeah, that's Arsenal.
Okay, T, go.
You can go first.
So what I can say is that playing for Arsenal, for example, that's where you get your milk and bread. Hapo ndio unapata riziki yako.
Okay.
So a club is your employer.
Okay.
But you see, you can be employed somewhere, but there's a place where your heart is, where your motherland. You understand?
Yes, it is.
So your motherland is the country that you represent in the World Cup, for example. You might have a heart for your club, but they are your employers. That's where you play your regular football.
So guys don't get paid for playing the World Cup?
They do get allowances, but is not anything compared to what they earn.
Sort
Yeah.
of basic salary.
Yeah, it's not something you can live on. Yeah.
Sort of basic monthly salary.
So it's almost like a service to your country.
Yes.
And then you can change clubs, but technically you're not allowed to change countries.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you played at senior level. That is beyond the main team.
21.
Yeah, you can't change. If
Can
you've
you be
already
bought
played.
though, the way guys buy Kenyan athletes?
It is possible.
You can at a young age before you play for your senior team.
Yeah.
So let's say you've played for Kenya under 17, Kenya under 19 team, and you're really good, and a country can come and lure you away. Or sometimes you have guys who have dual nationalities or like dual citizenships, and they usually have until they get their national team call up to decide which country they're going to
Yes.
play for.
Represent, yeah.
So sometimes you find that players will look at one side and look at the other. I don't have enough opportunity here. Let me play for this national team. Others, just to give an example to what T and Mike had explained before, there's a player like Diego Costa who's Brazilian. He's Brazilian originally, but he now plays for Spain. But I think it is because he had never represented Brazil at a senior level.
Okay.
So he was eligible to, or he was, what, how do I put it?
Nationalized. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and he plays his club football he used to play his club football in Spain, and so I'm sure he has already naturalized and so forth. So he was a good buy for them.
The last question. Can Gor Mahia or AFC Leopards represent Kenya, or should it be Harambee Stars? Mike.
The World Cup is only for national teams, so that's nations.
Yeah.
Gor Mahia and AFC are club teams, so they're not eligible. So it's only national teams that go to the World Cup. The World Cup is an international, national competition. Yes.
Can we make them a national team? Can do away with Harambee Stars?
You can choose to take the entire, all the Kenyans who play for Gor Mahia and decide to call them up just the way they are to your national team, but they will play for you as Harambee Stars, not as Gor Mahia. And they'll be managed by the Harambee Stars management and not by the Gor Mahia management.
But I see your worry.
Is that because Gor Mahia win and Harambee Stars
Yeah,
lose?
like the name Harambee Stars is in our minds because of the many losses they've been
Yeah,
suffering.
like-
it is almost associated
Like
with.
what?
Hmm?
Like what?
Like?
Like what?
No, I mean like Harambee Stars. I won't go to where he's going. We are talking of national teams, but the Harambee Stars has had previously has had a good run. You see, Harambee Stars has previously played in the African African Nations Cup.
Yeah.
So it is just that currently the reputation is not about the name of the team. It's just maybe coaching or management, and it is something that can be fixed, is all I'm trying to say.
So Shiro, now that you're done with your questions, we have some questions for you to test your football knowledge. Okay? So, number one, what is a hat trick?
It is when a player scores 3 goals, I think with the same ball, and then I know they're given that ball.
Close enough. You've tried. You've tried.
That's all. I don't know.
So the player scores 3 goals, period. The ball can change, but as long as they scored 3 goals
In
in
one
the
game.
same game.
In the same game, yes. In the
Okay.
same game.
Okay, good. Next question. Name 2 countries that you know that have ever won the World Cup.
Brazil. This one is tricky. Argentina.
Oh, okay, okay. Who won the last World Cup?
I don't know. I don't think I watched. My husband is not even giving me a hint. Germany.
Good job. Good job. Okay. Any questions for our
much
guest before
pressure.
she leaves?
What is a breath?
Hey, Ayo, you had to go for the hard ones. Whoever uses that term even.
Shiro?
Simple. I don't use that term. A simpler term.
Give a simpler question, Ayo.
Yeah, I thought that you know a hat trick, you know. A breath. I thought it was an easy question. Sorry.
You can think
What
of
is
any.
the role of a football fan?
Come on now.
To support and cheer on the team. Just beat them for the team. Strong.
Okay. Why is it that some fans cry?
Because of the passion and the belief they have
That team will do
that they'll that they'll
belief
win,
that a team will.
and then they lose.
Good.
You feel pain.
Because that's what I'm calling upon you for this period of the World Cup.
Shiro, have you
support
chosen
you.
a team that you're supporting for this World Cup?
I am, well, in my household,
Uh-huh.
the person I live with would really want me to support Germany,
Okay.
but I don't know how I feel about Brazil.
Oh, that's a
I
good
feel like-
choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
So-
you're doing well. You're doing well.
Yeah.
Forget
I
all
have
the
a question.
naysayers.
Uh-huh.
the
You have a
indo-
question for her?
How long is a football game?
90 minutes.
Hey!
Just the extra minutes given.
Someone has
And how long is the halftime in between? So that you know how long you have to make a
45
cup of
minutes.
tea.
Is it
no,
45?
the halftime.
The
The
halftime.
break.
15.
Yes.
Uh,
Last few questions. What do the initials GK represent in a football game?
Me, I'm just thinking government of Kenya. I don't know.
Think about the players in the field. Who would the initials GK represent?
Represent.
Goalkeeper.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Any other question?
No.
You have successfully answered. Actually, is it 100%? Has she gotten 100% of our questions?
Yeah.
Good
It's-
job.
It's just the brace was,
Ayo, man. Let
it
me
was
win
removed
this.
from the rota.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for yet another show. We will be having more shows now that the World Cup is on, so do not forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of our shows, any of our analysis, any of our predictions. Welcome to the World Cup.